Good evening, live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. Here we present to you tonight's news bulletin. First, the headlines. The Supreme National Committee for E-Census for Population, Housing and Establishments 2020 affirms that the trial run of E-Census project reached around 89%. The Sultanate welcomes the announcement of the formation of the new Iraqi government, which obtained the confidence of the Council of Representatives. And the Minister of Health announces 175 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 1,117 recoveries. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. The Supreme National Committee for Electronic Census for Population, Housings and Establishments for the year 2020 held its first meeting in the Ministry of Interior building to review the current update on the project and completion rate for the project database. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sayyid Hamoud bin Faisal Al Busaidi, Minister of Interior, Chairman of the committee, and was attended by Their Excellencies, members of the committee. The committee was briefed on what was accomplished during the trial run of TDAD-E Census 2020, which provides and reviews initial indicators. The committee affirmed that the project completion rate reached 89%. The Supreme Committee reviewed the status of the electronic connectivity project that aims at converting data from Ministry of Health and Ministry of Higher and linking addresses in electricity bills with data on civil status in Royal Oman Police. The Supreme National Committee on Electronic Census stressed on the importance of the proposed work mechanisms and methodology in TDAD project for approving academic certificates for foreign manpower in cooperation between the Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Manpower and Royal Oman Police. The committee reviewed also the summary on national data strategy and its importance in establishing integrated data management framework. The framework includes mechanisms for exchanging and integrating data from public and private sectors, mechanisms to generate, use and store data, mechanisms to select appropriate methods and performance and quality control, as well as data processing and data classification and validity in application of Royal Decree 55/2019. The committee reviewed as well the second phase for media activities of the national campaign to update data that focuses on direct engagement of individuals in updating their data with the concerned authorities. The committee stressed that E-Census 2020 represent the actual realization of modern technology in developing statistical work and completion of electronic census system that provides instantaneous and updated data can only be accomplished by engagement of all individuals and establishments in updating and completing their data with the concerned authorities. The Sultanate welcomed the announcement of the formation of the new Iraqi government headed by His Excellency Mustafa Al-Kazimi and obtained the confidence of the Council of Representatives. A statement by the Minister of Foreign Affairs stated that the Sultanate expressed its wishes to the Prime Minister of success in achieving what the brotherly Iraqi people aspire to for their sovereignty, security and stability. The Minister of Health announced 175 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 3,399, including 17 deaths. The Minister of Health stresses that 1,117 cases have been recovered. Within the efforts to limit the spread of COVID-19, the Ministry advises all citizens and residents to keep on washing hands with water and soap. Avoid touching the face, nose, mouth and eyes. Follow hygienic habits when coughing and sneezing. Adhere strictly to social distancing instructions. Stay at home and not to go out unless absolutely necessary. Adhering to isolation and social distancing will prevent you, your family and the community from COVID-19. Stay safe. The Royal Air Force of Oman, with one of its planes, transported a number of patients that required advanced medical checkups and supervision from Sultan Qaboos Hospital in the Governorate of Dhofar to the referral hospitals in the Governorate of Muscat to receive treatment. This comes within the integrated governmental efforts and continuous cooperation between the Ministries of Health and Defence. The Ministry of Manpower called upon operating companies and establishments in the private sector to instruct their staff to go to approved health institutions to diagnose them if they show or suspect to show symptoms of COVID-19. The ministry affirmed that the legal action shall be taken against violators of the decisions by following strict preventive measures to minimize the spread of novel coronavirus and exercising measures to protect citizens and residents in the country. The Public Authority for Privatization and Partnership is working on 49 projects of partnership between the public and private sectors. The projects aim to improve the general services as well as reduce the expenses of their establishments on the state's general budget. The projects include health, education, environment, transport, government services, agriculture and fisheries wealth sectors. The Public Authority for Privatizations and Partnerships seeks to encourage the private sector to invest in infrastructure projects and general services, as well as management of partnership with transparency, besides choosing the appropriate partner to implement the project with efficiency. The authority is also working on studying a number of development projects that are due to be implemented according to partnership laws. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and later to come in our news bulletin, Europe is preparing for a return to partial normality after officials relax some of the world's harshest coronavirus lockdown measures.
Non-compliance with the directives of the Supreme Committee dealing with coronavirus COVID-19 exposes you to risk and legal action. Stay safe.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The novel coronavirus has killed globally at least 279,185 people since the outbreak first emerged in China last December. More than 4.02 million cases of coronavirus have been registered in 195 countries and territories. Of these, at least 1.35 million are now considered recovered. The U.S. has the highest number of total deaths with 78,794 out of 1.31 million cases. At least 212,534 have been declared recovered. Britain has the second highest toll with 31,587 deaths from 215,260 cases. It's followed by Italy with 30,395 deaths and 218,268 cases, Spain with 26,621 fatalities and 224,390 infections, and France with 26,310 deaths and 176,658 cases. China, excluding Hong Kong and Macau, has to date declared 4,633 deaths and 82,901 cases. It has 78,120 recovered cases. Europe has a total of 155,441 deaths from more than 1.72 million cases. Asia, 10,541 deaths and 289,683 cases. The Middle East has 7,554 deaths and 219,755 cases. Africa, 2,184 deaths from 59,927 cases, and Oceania, 125 deaths from 8,276 cases. Millions of Europeans were preparing for a return to partial normality today, a day before officials relaxed some of the world's harshest coronavirus lockdown measures. In France, hair salons, clothes shops, forests and bookshops will open again tomorrow, but restaurants, theaters and cinemas remain closed. Half of Spain's 47 million people will be able to meet family or friends in gatherings of up to 10, and restaurants with outdoor space can reopen. European officials have been emboldened by declining death rates. France's toll of 80 yesterday was its lowest since early April, and Spain's daily fatalities have dropped below 200. Belgium, Germany and Greece are among other European nations set to ease their lockdowns tomorrow. But as some of the hardest hit countries prepare to relax their restrictions, other global hotspots are emerging as Russia's caseload surpassed 200,000 and the number of deaths remains relatively low at just over 1,900. Prime Minister Boris Johnson issued new public advice on the coronavirus today ahead of his announcements on how to ease a nationwide lockdown, but warned he would proceed cautiously as the death toll in Britain, already the highest in Europe, continues to mount. Johnson is expected to extend most of the stay-at-home orders imposed in late March, although garden centres are set to reopen. But in a sign of a gradual shift towards getting the country moving again, he said new public advice for people to stay alert to replace the current slogan, "To stay home, save lives." It urges people to stay at home as much as possible and limit contact with others, a more lenient message than previous rules to only go outside where necessary and to meet nobody outside your household. Johnson's announcement will only concern England, as well as Scotland and Northern Ireland have already announced they are maintaining stay-at-home measures. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and before we end this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Supreme National Committee for E-Census for Population, Housing and Establishments 2020 affirms that the trial run of E-Census projects reach around 89%. The Sultanate welcomes the announcement of the formation of the new Iraqi government, which obtained the confidence of the Council of Representatives. And the Ministry of Health announces 175 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 1,117 recoveries. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. From the entire news team and myself, we thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening, and don't forget to follow the precautionary measures. Do stay at home and stay safe with your family. Good night.